Shabbat Shalom, everyone. How lucky we all are to be together to celebrate, to be together and show each other support and strength, to have these extraordinary people come from Beit HaLochem and to witness Jackson's bar mitzvah. I know the morning has gone on for a while and I won't speak long, but I feel very compelled to deliver the message that I had prepared earlier. So I hope that you'll give me a little slack on this one. And I think you'll understand why. Every once in a while, I know each and every one of us will see something or experience something that strikes us in such a way that we want to share that experience or talk about that which we've read or that which we've seen. This past week, Toby and I watched a Netflix series, a 4-part series called Adolescence. It's gotten a tremendous amount of attention. By the end of the third of the 4 episodes, I knew that this was what I wanted to talk about this morning. And I also know that there's going to be a need to hook this in to an element in the Torah reading that we did, and I'll do so. And they seem so far removed from each other. Our Torah reading, as you know, is Vayikra, beginning with a call from God. And then it's filled with direction for the rituals connected to sacrifice, something so distant from us. In very broad strokes, it has to do with the creation of a structure for worship that brought the people together and created meaning. And Vayikra contains a connection to that which we consider holy, not just in ritual, but in our behaviors. So it's about a tradition that's very deeply connected to the most important elements of life and death. Adolescence is a deeply painful 4-part series about a young boy, a 13-year-old boy named Jamie Miller, who's accused of murdering a classmate, Katie Leonard. How many of you have seen it? Okay, a lot of you. If you haven't, it's on Netflix. It's Adolescence. Every moment of this film, of this series, is acted very well. It's incredibly filmed and directed, and it's deeply compelling. I was on the edge of my chair through the whole thing. The story takes us deeply into Jamie's family and the dynamics of the husband and the wife, the parents and the children, and it is a harrowing story. It delves into critical issues such as adolescent relationships, parenting, both parental responsibilities and also a realization of the limits of what parents can do and their ability to control their kids and outcomes. It touches upon issues like toxic masculinity, the influence of online bullying and radicalization, and the complexities of being an adolescent, sexuality and mental health. It not only reveals something about the characters that are involved, but it also loudly reminds us of the challenges that face today's young boys and girls, perhaps more so than at any time in our lives or in history. These are difficult, difficult days for adolescents. One of the central themes of adolescence is the impact of online misogyny and the so-called manosphere on impressionable young minds. The series illustrates how Jamie despite being a good student with a very supportive family, becomes ensnared by harmful online communities that promote distorted views of gender relationships. It's not only a reflection on misogyny, but also a keen reminder of the damage that young women can impose on young boys also. This portrayal underscores the ease with which vulnerable kids have their lives destroyed online. Kids that seem perfectly innocent and perfectly normal. And it leads to devastating real-life consequences. We're very well aware of it. Depression, suicide, gun violence, all have been motivated by online behaviors. It's not only boys and their misuse of the internet as a sex portal, but also, as we learned, it's also girls psychologically torturing boys. The show highlights the challenges that parents face in understanding and mitigating the digital influences on their children. Jamie's parents are depicted as being well-meaning, but ultimately unaware of the extent that their son is exposed to toxic online content. They had busy lives, they were working. The narrative thread emphasizes the necessity for parents to engage actively with their children's digital lives and foster open communications always about the content that they are encountering. The film was made in England. It recently came to America. And in response to the series, educational initiatives have been launched throughout England. Adolescence is streamed in UK secondary schools to initiate discussions about the harms of social media content. And it's been supported by Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Connection. In the old yeshiva world, the very first bit of Torah that our children learned was Vayikra, so distant from their lives as it is from our life today. But the kids learn that there's a call for religious connection, that life needs to have structure, ritual and worship, learning, and people must move towards defining their lives in relation to holiness. And out of this structure grew community connections amongst students, a sense of shared responsibility for their people and their friends, and a clear commandment to choose life. And that's one of the things that the religious community can do. Kids, teenagers especially, have the capacity to make connections with each other. And if they're properly guided, those relationships can be amongst the most important relationships in life. We not only bring our kids here to learn a text, but also to connect to each other and to learn about each other and to support each other. And we have to be the vehicle that does that for our children. Over the years, we have all seen how well summer camps do in this regard. But we have also, generally speaking, in the liberal communities, not invested enough to create meaningful teenage communities based on understanding of the challenges of the lives that they're living and the challenges of our day, where through compelling activities create a sense of responsibility for each other and allow for deeper and freer and safe conversations. We need to think what we give and help create for our teenagers and how we staff those programs. They're not just to be game nights. They have to be programs that include lives of meaning and meaningful activities. In the age of the cyber world, they're desperately in need of alternate ways to spend their time. And as the internet and the online experiences move them away from true relationships, where they see each other, feel each other, touch each other, and meaningful connection with each other, we need to bring them back. For me, adolescence served as a stark reminder of the moral and ethical challenges that we face. And there are so many, but we cannot forget that generation between the bar mitzvah and the time they go off to college. The series calls upon communities just like ours, to provide mentors and more support to young individuals that navigate the complexities of the teen years. They've always been difficult. You all had difficult times during your teenage years. They're more difficult today because of online lives and experiences. That's why I think that encouraging a fostering environment where there's open dialogue about gender and masculinity and femininity and respect and teaching about empathy, it can thrive. And if it thrives, it counters the negativity of today's digital landscape. Adolescence is more than a gripping drama. It is a call to action for parents, educators, a synagogue like ours, and a society at large to address these underlying issues. They're around. You know, we're so conflicted right now, and there's so many other issues that are demanding our attention. But first and foremost, we have to think about our kids. First and foremost, we must think about our teenagers. I'll conclude by saying that I believe that solutions are here, not immediately to the huge problems, but the smaller stuff that affects us and our kids and our grandkids day by day. We have a few programs here. We have this Madrichim program that gives teenagers responsibilities to work with younger students. And now we have this TLC program, not the one we've been hearing about where adults are engaged in social service, but this is a teen program for learning and community service. And you know what? And what we saw this morning from Jackson is all kids need to feel like they're living purposeful lives and doing meaningful work, and that they're reaching out beyond themselves, and we have to create those opportunities for them. All of you who've known me, whether it's for 31 years or 1 year, know that I dream. I think there are many more responses and resources that can come from a place just like this synagogue to create a teenage youth culture that brings the kids joy and connection, healthy relationships, and a place for interpersonal exploration with the right teachers and social workers. My friends, we can do this. And so I'll conclude. Let me know if you want to help us. Shabbat Shalom.